I call to order April 1st, 2026, meeting of the Civil Rights Board at 5:01 p.m. Director Hewitt-Smith, may I have a roll call, please?
Thank you, yes, Chairperson Faison. Director Madison Lukman,
Excuse.
Director Calderon,
Present.
Director Moore Doyle,
Present.
Director DeBoer,
Present.
Vice Chair Sipling,
Present.
Chairperson Faison.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. The agenda has been distributed. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda as is?
Director DeBoer, motion to adopt.
Is there a second? Your mic wasn't on.
Second, Ursula Moore Doyle.
Thank you. Moved by Director DeBoer, second by Director Moore Doyle. And the agenda is adopted as is. We also have the minutes for our last meeting, which was February 4th, 2006. Is there a motion to adopt these minutes?
Director DeBoer, motion to adopt.
Is there a second?
Vice Chair Sipling, second.
It has been moved by Director DeBoer and second by Vice Chair Sipling that the minutes, the minutes for the February 4th, 2026 meeting be adopted. At this time, do we have any public communications? None. Our first item on the agenda for discussion is the Education Subcommittee update.
This is Vice Chair Sipling. We do have a few updates from the Education Subcommittee. We have, per our last discussion, adopted some new methods to collect feedback from impacted community members, which was missing in our previous process and procedure. What we've implemented is a process that involves getting kind of face-to-face, ad hoc feedback from folks in the impacted community. So any of our community partners who are having meetings with folks who might be affected, the goal is to include some time for questions and answers and feedback about specific types of communication, as well as general feedback that can come to us. The reason why this solution seems to work better is because rather than try to organize a whole bunch of people around one schedule for a fairly sort of institutional meeting, the goal is to talk to people where they're at, when they're at those places, and also be able to get that information that it's more top to mind instead of waiting for what will now become a monthly meeting. So the goal isn't to exclude anybody from a monthly meeting, but the goal is rather to expand outside of the walls of a monthly meeting. There's also been a consensus set for one meeting per month and a time for that within the community partners. That said, I will use this time as well to say that we are looking for more community partners to take part within the educational subcommittee. Really what we're looking for are folks who have an interest within the various aspects of the Civil Rights Board's work. So that includes what I like to call two major buckets. One is information and resources about public accommodations, housing and so forth, as well as employment. So if you are part of a community organization, or if you provide direct services to impacted community members, if you're a part of any of these organizations that do that work, please come speak with me. We'd love to have you be a part. And I think that concludes my update for the Education Subcommittee.
Thank you, Vice Chair Sipling. I just want to piggyback off of that and double down again and ask you, Director Moore Doyle, are you still interested? Has anything with your schedule freed up?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I just didn't have a chance to give you a call. I fell and broke my wrist last month, or should I say broke my hand, so things got thrown off, but yeah, I need to talk to you about that.
Okay, thank you. Yep, just communicate with me. I have been attending them, just giving you a chance to see how your schedule works out.
Okay.
No more discussion. We'll move on to the next item agenda, which is our Ordinance Review Subcommittee. First off, I just want to say thank you again to City Manager Hankins for taking the time to come to our last Civil Rights Board meeting. Since then, both Willow and I had inquired as far as trying to get an appointment to meet with him, and so we did actually meet with him together. So from that, it's been a matter of him saying, just trying to get more familiar with the ordinance, to figure out what it is that we can do, but just looking into strong positivity as far as how the Civil Rights Board will be trying to move and continue to be engaged. One of the things that I did inquire about was investigational procedure training. I have been going back, and that's one of the things I also encourage everybody to do, is kind of just look at some of the past Civil Rights Board meetings. But that is where I found it, and that was in the June 30th, 2022 meeting. So since then, there has been a manual that City Manager Hankins did end up finding, and he did provide us with. So we will be just kind of going over all this information, making sure that everybody, and so let me go back. The other side was the board had been trained. So the only person who is on the board, Sandra, do you have any insight back then as far as any type of investigational training, procedure training for complaints?
Sorry, this is Sandra, no.
Okay. So at that time, I will say Chair Harrington was on the board. That was actually when the discussion did come up, but the board had been provided with that. So that is one of the things we are looking forward to in the future as well, is making sure that the board is trained on investigational procedures. Any other updates? Okay, so I think that is it for our Ordinance Review Subcommittee. We will move on to our next discussion, which is board member nominations. So we had an interview that had been conducted since our last meeting. And the subcommittee decided to move her forward to the board. So everyone has been presented with her application for the Civil Rights Board, as well as her resume. I hope everyone did take the time to go over it. And we can open it up for discussion. Okay, we'll open it up for discussion. Our nominee is Keisha Dickinson. We've definitely been provided with a lengthy resume.
Does the nomination subcommittee have a recommendation?
The nomination subcommittee did make a recommendation to add this member to the board.
Sorry, so the recommendation is to add her?
To move forward, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So I will just ask, I think, Sandra, you're the only one here from the nomination subcommittee. Do you want to give us a little bit of feedback?
Yes, so, well, Keisha Dickinson comes to us with experience both in nonprofit and working within government, having experience with the county government as a road commissioner for 4 years. And she shows a history of collaborations and being able to manage not only her own business, but just experience in working with others and also with certain initiatives that I think would help us to be successful as a board, to add her as a board member, excuse me.
Thank you, Director Calderon. If there is not any input, I know the nomination committee recommended, but we would actually need a motion for her to move forward.
Ursula Mordoyle moved that we move forward on the vote for Ms. Dickinson to be on the board.
Is there a second?
This is Director Calderon West, so I second that.
It was moved by Director Mordoyle and second by Director Calderon that Keisha Dickinson be added to City Commission's agenda and to be added to the City Commission's agenda for appointment to the board. We will all take a vote. All of those in favor? Aye.
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 Those opposed? Any abstentions? It has been decided that she will move forward to be added to the City Commission's agenda for appointment to the Civil Rights Board. Moving along to our next item, navigating city platforms. We put this on the agenda because we've gotten quite a bit of feedback even from community in regards to being able to navigate the city's website to get information, how information is located. And so I think per our discussion, Law, were you going to update and try to give people a little bit better insight on navigating the system?
I can certainly assist in clarifying. I think the main thing the chair and vice chair spoke to us was mainly regarding finding minutes and agendas for city boards. At a request by the city, the chair and vice chair, we did delete the Civil Rights Board meeting minutes and agenda past 2023. 2023 is when the city began streamlining using Civic Clerk. So to avoid any confusion with requests from the chair and the vice chair, we did delete any minutes and agenda that were in 2023 onward. They are all housed in Civic Clerk. That is linked directly when you go to Civil Rights Board under Government and Board and Commissions. That will take you directly to our Civic Clerk. There's an event category that allows you to select which board you would like to see the agenda and minutes for. And then on the left hand, you will see when you navigate to Civic Clerk, a calendar that gets you, that allows you to choose the year and then the date and the month. And that should get you to filter out exactly what board you would like to see. I know the city commission has fully transitioned. Other boards are a little slow. We are trying our best to keep the agendas that have already been posted to avoid further confusion. But moving forward, 2023, all minutes and agendas are on Civic Clerk.
Thank you for that update, Lal. Any discussion? Vice Chair Sipling.
First, thank you to Lal for making that change on the website. What we've discovered is that it's pretty important to look back into our history. We've been finding that useful to better understand how this investigation process works, enforcement process works. So going and looking at the history has been key. So for those who are navigating at home, if you go to the Civil Rights Board website, there is a sidebar, or if you're on a mobile device, it will be at the bottom of a page. Minutes and agenda is where that's found. And thank you to Lal for removing some of the more recent instances of minutes from that page. And also thank you again for moving those to Civic Clerk. If folks are continuing to find this navigation pathway difficult, please continue to let us know. And thank you to folks who let me look over their shoulders as they were navigating this part of the website. So just know that we can continue to work on making recommendations to have things easier to find or more accessible. But just let us know if that's continuing to become an issue.
Thank you, Vice Chair Sipling. Seeing that there is not any other discussion, we'll move on to our next item on the agenda, and that is our civil rights complaint update.
I will be providing those updates. In 2026, we have had two formal complaints. The first one we received on January 5th that came through a physical copy through City Hall. They were connected to me. It alleged the wrongful detainment by KDPS regarding drug possession, and that the complainant indicated that they had video evidence. I was able to direct them to our complaint form, whether it's physical or online. They have to submit that complaint. They later sent me video materials. Those video materials were reviewed by security just to check for any, just for safety, and then forwarded and including the complaint and video forwarded to City Attorney's Office. They were informed later on that the City Attorney's Office needed additional time. And as of the moment, the complaint is still under review. The complainant has also filed a separate complaint with KDPS Internal Affairs. So that complaint is still under review. 2026-125, the complainant alleged harassment, intimidation, and discrimination related to city policy and concerns about lack of affordable housing protection, with issues appearing to involve our Community Planning and Economic Development Department, also known as CPED. A written complaint was sent to the City Clerk's office in January 7th of 2026 and forwarded to me, and I forwarded over to City Attorney for review. I did have to follow up with requesting additional details as the complaint form was lacking some information. The complainant was informed that we need additional time for review by the City Attorney's Office. The complainant responded saying they agreed to the extension. The complaint was ultimately determined to fall outside the scope of Chapter 18 and 18A, but it was referred to the Director of Community Planning and Economic Development for review and response. The complainant was informed of the determination, and Director Antonio Mitchell was also informed as well as of March 25th, 2026. And I say that we have two formal complaints because the third one, there was no formal complaint submitted through our complaint form. It was saved on our end just to keep documentation. We had 3 unhoused individuals say that they submitted a formal complaint to City Hall. However, no completed complaint was ever received or located by any city staff. I followed up with our city clerk as well as our treasury and our security team, as they are often community facing. They report no complaint forms being received. But regardless, I did speak with each of the complainants, as they did give me a phone call. All individuals raised similar concern, alleging favoritism and unfair bans and misconduct by a worker at a local service organization. One complainant later reported additional serious allegations involving harassment, solicitation at the facility, and was advised by me to contact KDPS to report the incident. I did provide them a non-emergency phone number in case they did not want 911's quick reaction. At this moment, I am still awaiting formal complaints to be received. I did speak with the second individual who said they could and was able to do an online form, but I did not receive any complaint form from any of the 3 individuals.
Thank you so much for that update, Lau. Oh, Director Calderon?
Law, my question is with regards to the 3 complaints. Are the 3 complaints with regards to the individual at the organization?
Yes, an individual at a local nonprofit organization.
And those are the 3 non-formal complaints that haven't been located, have not been able to be located?
From the information I gathered from staff, it seems like there were individuals that requested a complaint form, but never submitted a complaint to any staff member. We did check drop-in boxes, both in the front and in the back, and they are checked daily. And staff came back saying that they have not received any drop-in, they have not received any physical copy of the form from any individual. And when I did speak with them, I did say that if they needed me there, or if they could go back to City Hall, which they said they could go back to City Hall. I have not heard from any of the individuals. As I said, they do have my phone number. I have tried calling back and left voicemails on those whose voicemail is set up, but I have not heard back from any of the individuals.
Okay, thank you, Law.
Any further discussion? Okay, well, at this time, we will move on to public comments. Please state your name.
Test 1, 2. Hi, my name's Caleb Leonard. I know many of you know me. I love to speak. First off, the website, very hard to use. I can barely make heads or tails of it. Everything's left, right, and center. If you want, I can show up with somebody. We can talk it through. The things that catch up me, catch up a lot of my older neighbors. We're just kind of can't really access the information because it's not quite aligned with our brains. Second is if we could make sure that the speakers are going up. I couldn't hear about half of what was being said as far as the comments over there. I know it's a lot of business speak, but we deserve to hear it. Inmate medications. I know a lot of you will say that it's not necessarily the purview of this board, but a large number of our citizens, y'all's responsibility, same as mine, are being taken to county lockup and being refused their medications. This is a serious issue. I will be working on people getting formal complaints, but from personal experience between the trauma I have in my brain injury, my epilepsy, my PTSD, I can tell you that not having medications will mess up your entire month. It will leave you crawling in bed, crying tears and yelling for a medic. It will make you confused and waking up all over town. These are true and real things. And I don't even have to deal with major psychosis. I don't have to do with major renal failure. There are so many medications that doctors have prescribed, and the people going in do not get that medication. Now, this is something that everybody's going to say it's an administrative passage, it's an administrative error, or it's not our issue, but it's our officers bringing our citizens there. And this is not just a Kalamazoo issue. I have literally had a lieutenant down in Texas tell me that the reason inmates don't get their meds, despite the inmates, the guards, and the doctors saying it, is because they won't let them. There are old boy systems in this world. Let's make sure we're clear of them. Additionally, it's probably not full on in the civil rights, but I think we're discriminating against our children, specifically with regards to traffic safety. We are not prioritizing school crosswalks. We are not focusing enough on them. We had a pedestrian hit down on West Edge just the other night and killed. Within the last 3 years, one of our neighbors, their child was hit and left to die. Our children are going into danger every day crossing Howard. Our people are running into issues every day crossing West Edge. It is a civil right because our children are being discriminated against. With regards to board member nominations, just who's on the board, once again, I say that Madison Lukeman is a stain to this board and to the city. I found out that she has a nickname around here. It's the Slumlord Queen of Kalamazoo. I also
Thank you. Next.
Hello, my name is Caleb, and I want to talk about the Civil Rights Board page on the city website. I want to preface this by saying this is not a CRB-specific problem. Nearly every board on the city website has the same issues, but this board is one of the few that is open to the public, records its meetings, and accepts public comment. Because of that, I think it deserves a web presence that reflects that level of engagement. I just want to walk you through what a community member has to do to stay informed about this board. For starters, if I want to watch a recording of a past meeting, I naturally start on the CRB page. There is no YouTube link there. So I open a new tab and search for the City of Kalamazoo's YouTube channel. I find the channel, and now I am looking at every video the city has ever posted. City commission meetings, public work updates, department announcements, all of it mixed together. I scroll through until I find the specific Civil Rights Board meeting I am looking for. That is step one, just to watch a meeting. If I want minutes and agendas, I go back to the CRB page and click the minutes and agendas link. That link takes me away from the CRB page entirely and drops me on a generic page listing documents for every board in the city. I re-scroll down and reselect the Civil Rights Board. When I get there, the most recent documents are from 2022. There's a note there that says more recent records are available on Civic Clerk. I click that link to go to Civic Clerk, and it doesn't take me to the Civil Rights Board section. It just brings me to the generic Civic Clerk landing page for the entire city. I'm now looking at every board and every meeting the city has ever logged. I have to scroll or search again just to find the Civil Rights Board. Once I do, I can finally get to the documents I was looking for before I ever left the CRB page. That is 3 separate websites, at least 6 or 7 individual clicks, and 2 full restarts from scratch, just to access things the city already publishes. Every single one of those specific links exists. They could all just be live on the Civil Rights Board page. Under current members, the page lists 6 names. This board has 7 members. I understand this point now is kind of null because we just voted to add a member. But before today, the page did not say there was a vacancy under its members at all. There are also no term end dates, no term lengths, and no indication of which seats are resident versus non-resident. The ordinance specifically allows up to 2 non-resident members. It would be meaningful for the community to know who holds those seats and when member terms expire. Term dates are planning information. If I am someone who is civically engaged and thinking about where I want to serve, knowing when seats are coming open lets me prepare, lets me apply with intention rather than just waiting for a vacancy to appear. This board has had ongoing trouble maintaining a full membership. I think part of that.
Thank you. Next.
Good evening to our chair, our vice chair, board of directors, committee members, staff, commissioner liaison. My name is Charlotte Davis with Isaac. Good to see you all. I wanted to first say thank you all so much and also just extend a special thank you to those who are on the subcommittees. We sincerely appreciate you all's awesome hard work. We know that this work is challenging. It's not easy, so we definitely wanted to send that gratitude. We also wanted to say thank you so much for allowing feedback on the city website. We appreciate that as well. We know sadly that far too much is going on nationwide, statewide as well, and then our city is a microcosm of our society, our larger society. And so I think that just speaks volumes to why this Civil Rights Board is needed and why your work is so very important, especially during this time. It is also our hope that you all as a board, as we go into the next month, that you all are able to find yourself more in collaboration or able to collaborate more with the city commission as well, and hopefully to support the inclusion there for enforcement this year as we move forward as well. I said this before, and it's so important when we have opportunities for community and boards and government to be able to come together and work together, even through the ups and downs, disagreements, it doesn't matter, but to hold the community and the best interests of the community at heart, that is a powerful thing, and this is what this could be. I want to ask also, and this is just as a whole for the city, even those who are not here, and I hope that you all as the CRB receive an answer. We want to ask again, what can we do? We don't want to just focus on what cannot be done. And so again, may we center and lift the utmost importance of ensuring that all of our beloved community members who are impacted and discriminated against based upon identity, that they have a powerful hope and the expectation that if they file a complaint, it's going to go to the right person, and that complaint will have a resolution and will have accountability. And that is the hope. And if we're able to do that, you all, that strengthens accountability, communication, awareness, and it deepens the trust in our community. So again, we just wanted to say thank you all. You all are dedicated. Again, we know this is not easy work, but this board is more important now than ever. We don't know what lies ahead of us in the months to come, but we do have one another, and we have you all in these seats, and we thank you for that. Please know your work is not in vain, and then again, even
Thank you. I'm not sure. We're not getting it on our side either.
It's working, and we just have to clock.
Is there anyone else? Seeing no one, do we have anyone on the phones?
We do not.
Thank you, Lau. At this time, I will open it up for board member comments.
This is Vice Chair Sibling. First, thanks to everybody who has made those public comments. To answer just one of the questions that Dr. Davis mentioned in terms of what can be done, one of those things is very basic. It is making those comments. Here's why those comments are not just words shouted into the void. Every time a comment is made about something such as the website, that becomes one more tick mark, right? It's not just, I have a problem with the website. Oh, I've got 4 people, 5 people, 6 people. All of that matters in terms of the volume of things going from the back of the burner to the front. So even though that might seem basic or that might seem a little bit trite, because sometimes it feels like when it comes to things that happen in the public, what actually happens to my voice? Well, just to give some transparency, that's how that gets used. Those become statistics as making the point we need some changes. So I appreciate the further comments that are made. I was taking notes for the website added to the agenda. We'll work on that. A few other updates. We've had some progress made on the brochures that were talked about last time. We are still collecting feedback from our community partners, and they are actively collecting that for us. We do have approval to print, to start 1,000 brochures. So we're hoping to get those in the hands of community members once we get the more feedback from impacted community members. I think those are the things that I had, but I did want to mention as well, in terms of other things that can be done, I will just say it again, we would love some more community members as a part of our educational subcommittee. So if you know folks, or if you are somebody who works with folks in the community, we'd love to have your input. We'd love to hear the feedback you're collecting, so that way we can make those changes and do what we can here from the Civil Rights Board. And that's all I've got from my end.
Thank you, Vice Chair Sipling. Anyone else? Director Hewitt-Smith?
Thank you. First, I would like to, there is some changes I need to make as far as roll call. I did not mention our our city commissioner liaison, as far as Commissioner Stephanie Hoffman, who is absent. So I want to modify that. And last, I would also like to say thank you to the community members. I do want to say that my department, which consists of Law and I, can you hear me? Which consists of Law and I, we take pride in communication. So we are here to hear your concerns, to hear your comments. So we do take pride as far as the fact of as you said, as Dr. Davis stated, it is a we thing. It is not an I thing. So as we continue to hear from you, we will most definitely try to, sometimes it is just a low-hanging fruit that we can do at the moment, but we do most definitely strive to be a service to the community in which we serve. And I also want to say thank you to Law, because Law is the only staff member that we have, but outside of myself, of our department. I think she does an amazing job of the things that come through. So I want to most definitely uplift her in that space. So thank you.
Thank you, Director Hewitt-Smith. I will end once again by thanking the Civil Rights Board, all the work that you do, being here, as well as participating in our subcommittees, as well as the staff that assists us. I want to thank community that shows up. I'm watching numbers grow. I'd love to hear the community voicing and expressing their concerns, even if things don't have to do with the Civil Rights Board. And I say that because even the medication at the county not being distributed to inmates is not something new to me. I've heard that before. So there are concerns. And it's just a matter of, when it comes down to the Civil Rights Board, trying to figure out how we can get this up and running. There are so many different organizations to say pulling together and trying to make some strides in order to make some differences in other areas as well. Outside of my Civil Rights Board, maybe what other hats that I do wear. Thank you for the feedback once again in regards even to the web page and navigating, because we've all heard the concerns. Once again, thank City Manager Hankins for taking the time to meet with us. He's already agreed to meet with us again. We'll continue doing this work. We'll continue moving forward. The last thing that I also want to say is, well, two things. Congratulations to Keisha Dickinson to be able to move forward and add it to the City Commission's agenda for appointment to the Civil Rights Board. We also have a term that has ended, and Director Lukeman has decided she is not going to renew her term. So once again, encouraging individuals to put in an application. I hear voices, I hear concerns. Be like me, don't just speak about the problem, help solve it. Let's put the applications in. And by the next time we have our meeting in 2 months, hopefully we can add somebody else to the agenda. Thank you. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Director DeBoer, motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Ursula Moore Doyle, second.
And our Civil Rights Board meeting is adjourned at 5:41 PM. Thank you.